This is Religion in the News, sponsored by Wish TV, in cooperation with the Church Federation of Greater Indianapolis.
Good morning, I'm J.R. Ryder. Welcome to our October edition of Religion in the News, as we celebrate Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Joining me today is Carol Sissom, Merlin Gonzalez, Faith James, and Lori Cobian. We have a great show for you today, as the Susan G. Komen and Pink Forever organizations talk about their impact on our community. A plastic surgeon talks about breast cancer reconstruction, and the founder of the Sacred Dance Institute shares about her close encounter with breast cancer, and a touching story of how one of our guests survived breast cancer. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Religion in the News. My guest today is the Executive Director of Susan G. Komen of Central Indiana, Dana Kurish. Welcome back to Religion in the News.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
It's been a couple of years.
It's been a couple of years,
we had you on last year, and so we wanted to make sure we had you back this year.
Great.
And you're wearing this nice leather, pink leather coat.
I know. What was given to me.
Was given to you.
Yes, it's wonderful.
It's a nice gift. It's a nice leather coat. Well, there's a lot going on. Again, you are the Executive Director of our Susan G. Komen here in Central Indiana. I know you have a ton of things going on right now. Your plate is full. Talk to us about some of the events that are taking place now with your organization.
Well, as you say, this is a National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so we are busy all month long. So we're number one, raising awareness. This is when everybody needs to remember that they need to get their annual mammogram. Yes. But we're also raising money. This is the second biggest fundraiser for the Komen organization. So there are things that you can do. There are national programs. People can collect pink lids.
Yes.
And in the grocery stores, and I know everybody thinks, oh, it's only 10 cents a lid. They guarantee $1.5 million to Komen from Yoplait pink lids.
Do they really?
Yes.
I had no idea. And that's a very popular yogurt brand.
We have Panera Bagels. Pink Ribbon Bagels are back this year. White Castle is selling pink ribbons, and they raised over $50,000 last year. We have Biaggi that is doing a wine and canvas event, Moyer Fine Jewelry. There's so many things going on. You can eat and shop your way all the way through October. Have fun and raise money. You can find everything on our website, which is www.komenindy.org. We have it all on a calendar.
All on the calendar. And your website is looking great. I had a chance to navigate through, and it's a lot. It's busy. It's a busy website.
It's a busy website. We have a lot of visits. So
now I know one of the pictures that we have, the picture of some of the cancer survivors, some of the women. Tell us about that, a little bit about that event.
Well, we have a number of events where we celebrate cancer survivors. One is our Pink Ribbon Celebration, which we just had in September. We had about 400 breast cancer survivors together and an inspiring speaker. The Race for the Cure has the biggest survivor celebration every year. It's coming up April 12th. We have about 2,000 breast cancer survivors that come together, all dressed in pink, that march through pink arches, pink balloon arches, to the applause of thousands and thousands. And they march by years of survivorship. And we have been led by a 59-and-a-half-year breast cancer survivor. And she leads the parade.
She leads the pack, huh?
Yes.
Now, if I remember correctly, the Race for Cure is the largest, nonprofit race in Indiana, in our state?
It's the largest single-day fundraising event in the state of Indiana, and it raises about 80% of our funds.
Okay.
And 75% of the money that we raise entirely stays right here in Central Indiana, and we grant it out to local organizations that provide early screening and detection, education, survivor support, treatment assistance, and then 25% goes to fund research. And there's $14 million worth of Komen-funded research going on in Indiana right now.
Wow.
So,
and I know there's always a need for volunteers, so tell us your website information again, and we'll make sure we get that up on the screen.
All right, great. www.komenindy, KOMENINDY.org.
Dana, thank you for being our guest again today, and we will make sure we get that information up. There's so much going on. We'll send everyone to your website. And of course, as always, best of luck to you during the month of October.
All right, thank you. Thank
you
so
welcome,
much.
And thank you. Carol, now to you.
Thank you, JR. Good morning, I am Carol Sissom, and my guest today performs plastic surgery for breast cancer patients. Welcome to Religion in the News, Dr. Cacioppo.
Thank you.
Now, Doctor, you are with an amazing team of surgeons with IU Medical Group. I believe there's 8 surgeons in your group. Tell us a little bit about your practice and what you do for breast cancer patients.
Sure, I'm one of 8 plastic surgeons at Indiana University Plastic Surgeons. We cover all types of plastic and reconstructive surgery. I mainly specialize in breast cancer reconstruction after mastectomy.
Now, I know you gave me a lot of statistics. I learned so much and just while we're waiting for you to come on the show. 70% of women with breast cancer aren't aware of the services that you provide?
True, and that's one of the things that the American Society of Plastic Surgery is trying to address. Yeah, a full 70% of women who are eligible for breast cancer reconstruction are not even offered that at the outset. And so we're trying to come together to create team approach to breast cancer treatment. That includes not only the surgical oncologist, that's the surgeon who cuts out the cancer, but also the oncologist, the chemotherapy doctor, the radiation doctor, as well as the plastic surgeon to create and provide team-centered approach to the patient.
Now tell me a little bit about the process. I know you have patients coming from Michigan and Kentucky, you know, practically all over the country just to come get surgery with you. Tell me about that process. They're diagnosed with breast cancer, and what takes them to meeting you? Is it the day of the mastectomy?
So it's a bit of a complicated question, but breast reconstruction in general is offered in 2 ways, in an immediate reconstruction and a delayed reconstruction. In the immediate setting, the patient receives the mastectomy and the breast cancer reconstruction at the same time. That I'm more used to seeing local patients because all their care is centered here in Indianapolis. But that's not appropriate for every patient, and so some patients are better treated with a delayed reconstruction. They have their mastectomy, and then maybe they're going to need radiation after the surgery. And so they go on to receive their adjuvant treatments. Once that dust is settled, then they can appropriately seek breast cancer reconstruction, and then sometimes I get patients from regional states such as Michigan or Kentucky.
Now tell us about the DIEP flap surgery, because that's not offered just everywhere.
Sure. The DIEP flap surgery is kind of a newer brand of surgery. Basically, we're using the skin and fat of the lower abdomen. That tissue's been around since the 1980s, but we've recently developed a new process where we can just take the skin and fat and not the muscle. And we take that tissue out completely as if we were doing a tummy tuck, and then transfer it up to the chest and hook up blood vessels in the chest to allow that tissue to live. It's fairly technical, and it takes a while in the operating, but I think the results are very gratifying. Our patients are very satisfied following that type of reconstruction.
Now I know you told me you do about 12 of these a week.
Well, I do 12 surgeries a week. It is a very long surgery, so maybe only 2 or 3 days a week is probably the maximum amount that I can have the fortitude to withstand such surgeries.
Right, right. Now tell me, I know you are a man of faith. You go to church in Indianapolis. Tell us about some of those miracle stories, or maybe just the happy stories that you have.
Yeah, thankfully or unthankfully, I'm not on the life or death part of cancer. I'm kind of more in the restoration part. And I suppose recently, after we'd completed a reconstruction on a woman, she came and said, "Oh, doctor, look at this. This is great. I can't tell it's as if nothing has ever been done." And maybe that was the highest compliment paid to me, because it is challenging, breast reconstruction, and that is our goal, is to try and restore the patient's body and sense of self.
I think we have some really awesome pictures that we're going to show.
Okay.
But just real quickly, I wanted to ask you, I know that your team, Dr. Sood, was going to be with us today. You do missions work around the world. You go to third world countries, and then you teach other countries how to do breast reconstruction that would never know about that? True.
Not only that, but all types of surgery, such as burn surgery, cleft lip and palate, hand anomalies, and they've Dr. Sood and Cohen and the other team has been to El Salvador and Panama and faraway places such as Kenya and India, and we're really proud of what they do.
We're proud of you. Thank you so very much. Back to you.
Thanks, Carol. Good morning. I'm Faith James. When we return, you'll hear how my guest reaches out to our community by reducing breast cancer deaths. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Religion in the News. My guest today is the Executive Board Member of Pink Forever, Miss Claire McCarley. Welcome to Religion in the News.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so you are the Executive Board Member. Tell our viewers at home, what do you actually do as an Executive Board Member?
It is our role. It is 7 of us that sit on the board. It is our role to ensure that our programs are up and running, that we're reaching out to our community and our patients that come to us for assistance.
Okay, so now Pink Forever says it's okay to talk about it. And typically you would think that the founder of Pink Forever would be a woman, but we were talking earlier and actually it's a
man.
A man.
Yes, John Miller.
Tell us a little background about Mr. Miller.
John Miller, his sister was actually a survivor. His sister is a survivor, Nadia Miller. They lost a sister. They thought to come up with a program that would reach out to underserved women. So by doing that, we provide free mammograms for women that come to us. We provide assistance. We provide outreach programs to underserved communities.
Okay, now speaking of free mammograms, where can somebody go this year to go get one?
They come through our program by signing up with Pink Forever at various events that we have or at our office on La Paz Trail. We offer those mammograms to patients that do qualify. So October 11th, that'll be an opportunity for some of our patients to come out to our breast health symposium at the Sterrett Center from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay, there's no cost associated with that?
There is no cost. We ask that people that come and participate in the programs do donate. There'll be Zumba, there'll be makeovers, there'll be a long list of vendors at that event.
And there are several organizations out there to help survivors and or people who have just found out about breast cancer. What makes you all unique?
What makes us different from some of the organizations is that we like to hone in on the underserved population. A lot of times we find that our patients are scared to go in for the checkups. They're scared to talk about it and how they were impacted and their survival stories. They're scared to share them. And so we go with the slogan, it's okay to talk about it.
Okay, now really quick, what is the website where some of these women can come and share their testimonies?
www.pink-4-ever.org is our website.
Okay, well, I wish we had forever to talk, but we don't, and thank you so much for joining me, Claire.
Thank you.
Okay, back to you, Marilyn.
Thanks, Faith. Good morning. I'm Merlin Gonzalez. My guest today is here to talk about her scare with breast cancer. Tiffany Johnson, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, we're really glad for you to be in this show. So share us a little bit about your experience a few years ago.
Well, just interestingly enough, go in for my annual exam and had a little bit of a scare. Doctors found a spot, a mass in my breast, and there began a scare for me, a journey of finding out exactly what this was and the potential for cancer. Praise God, because He's a healer,
yes.
And He always has His hand on His children. I went for my biopsy, prepared, to see what the results would be. When we got there, they could not find the mass that was identified in the X-ray. Continued to have me go back for the mammograms and try to find this location where the biopsy was going to be taken. Amazing sight to see the X-ray from the first occasion with the mass there, and then to know that God had removed it. So fortunately, my scare ended there. The Lord touched and removed that and allowed me the opportunity to know that I was healed and touched.
So that was quite an experience then.
Yes.
So during the time when they found out about it, and by the time you found out that it's gone, what was going on in your mind?
Well, actually, seeing God's hand, He has divine appointments for us, and sometimes the things that He allows in our lives, we think it's for one thing. We're like, well, why is this happening to me? In the process, God was preparing some things, particularly for my ministry, to have an opportunity to serve and be mindful of the community, those who have a further journey with cancer and breast cancer. So gave me an opportunity to connect with an organization called the Little Red Door.
Okay.
And all of this was happening on the way to the biopsy, only to find out that that setup was giving us an opportunity to serve the community in another way.
So there seemed like to be a connection from the time you got healed and then the time that you founded your own ministry. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, well, we have a ministry called the Sacred Dance Institute. We're here locally in Indianapolis, and our ministry, while our primary focus is dance and worship, We also serve the community in making deposits of praise and worship and serving the underserved, those who don't often have the opportunity to experience worship at that level. So we were fortunate to connect with Little Red Door in the process of me being assigned to go through this cancer scare. And in the process, we were able to collaborate with them and work with them and serve the community and make a deposit of praise and worship and intercessory prayer through dance.
So we only have about 30 seconds here. So what's going on with Sacred Dance
Sure.
in the next few weeks?
Well, actually, we are preparing for our open house for our ministry, so we hope that those who have an interest in a calling to worship God in this very unique way will come and visit us November 10th. We'll be having our open house. Folks can reach us through our phone number, 877-SDI-1073. Find out more about the open house, and so we'd love to connect and fellowship with those who are called, interested in classes, volunteerism, and the like.
Thank you, Tiffany. It's good to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Back to you.
Thanks, Merlin. Good morning. I'm Lori Cobian. When we return, my guest gives advice to younger women in regards to breast cancer. Stay tuned.